Katie stood in front of the mirrors in the design studio, her hands shaking a little as she fixed the hem of a sapphire blue cocktail dress. Her reflection looked back at her, a mix of hope and doubt on her face. For years, she had lived in the shadow of her beautiful older sister, Brooke Logan. Brooke was so beautiful, charming, and involved in romantic relationships that she changed the course of Forrester history. Katie was finally in the spotlight now, ready to show that she was more than just Brooke's little sister. This line wasn't just made of fabric and thread. It was a second chance. It was about self-worth. It was about staying alive. Katie whispered to herself, "Today changes everything," as she smoothed out the delicate beading. "This is mine." The doors behind her swung open, and a wave of tension went through the room. Brooke Logan walked in with her usual confidence, and her heels made a loud noise on the marble floor. She wore a tailored ivory suit that was perfectly styled, and her posture gave off an air of authority. As she walked by, every employee instinctively stood up straight. Brooke always had that effect on people. She looked around the room, taking in the designs, mannequins, and racks of clothes. At first it was hard to read her face. But then very slowly, her lips turned into a thin, knowing smile. "So," Brooke said, breaking the silence, "this is it." Katie turned slowly, getting ready. "Yes, this is what I have." Brooke crossed her arms and moved closer to look at the dresses. She ran her fingers over the cloth and tilted her head as if she were looking at a painting. "Interesting," she said softly. Katie's heart raced. "I worked on it for months. I wanted something new and empowering. Something that women can wear and feel good about." Brooke laughed a little, softly but sharply. "Giving power? Katie, these designs look like they came straight from last year's Forrester runway show." Katie's body stiffened. "That's not right." "Oh, come on," Brooke said, pointing to a flowing red dress. "This is almost exactly like the Monaco collection that Ridge and I started. And this one?" She pointed to a custom-made blazer. "It's a less intense version of Steffi's Paris line." Katie's voice shook. "That's not fair. Fashion changes. Overlapping inspiration." Brooke turned around and her gaze became sharp. "There's imitation and then there's inspiration. And this?" She waved her hand in a way that said, "No. This is just a cheap copy." Katie felt like the words hit her in the face. "Do you think I'd steal designs?" Katie yelled, her eyes welling up with tears. Brooke said, "I think you're trying too hard to be a Forrester and it shows. This whole thing screams, I want to be." The room went quiet. Designers, interns, and executives all stopped moving and held their breath. This wasn't just a professional critique, it was very personal. Katie gulped hard. "You don't have the right to say that." Brooke shrugged her shoulders. "Why not? You have always wanted what I have. My family, my success, and my place here. You want my legacy now, too." Katie shot back. "That's not true. I made this myself. I didn't need your help." Brooke laughed. "You didn't have to. You have been watching me for years. You know exactly how Forrester operates. And now you're trying to make your own space by copying it." Katie's chest got tight. "You're wrong. And you're mean." Brooke's eyes blinked for a second, but her face quickly hardened. "I'm honest. Something you've always had trouble with." Katie shook her head in disbelief. "You are in danger." Brooke laughed. "By this." That one word killed what little faith Katie had left. Katie said softly, "I was there for you. I stood by you through your scandals, your affairs, and your never-ending heartbreak. When everyone else turned their backs on you, I stood up for you. And this is how you pay me back." Brooke thought for a moment. She thought about all the times Katie had comforted her after failed marriages, stood by her during public humiliations, and forgave her betrayals over and over again. But Brooke pushed them away because she didn't want to look weak. "This is business," Brooke said in a flat voice. "And in business, feelings don't matter." Katie straightened her back and made herself look Brooke in the eye. "Then here's some business truth for you. I don't need your permission. And I won't let you ruin this for me." Brooke raised an eyebrow. "We'll see." The fallout from the fashion show. The Forrester runway shone brightly that night under bright lights. The front rows were full of people from the industry, media moguls, influencers, and famous people. The energy was amazing. Katie was supposed to be happy at this point. When the first model walked down the runway in a soft lavender evening gown, The crowd whispered. The designs were modern, classy, and made you feel something. Katie watched from behind the scenes, and each step made her breath catch. For a short time hope grew. But then Brooke hit. Brooke leaned forward as the cameras rolled while she sat next to Ridge and Steffi. Brooke didn't hesitate when a reporter asked her for a live interview. Honestly, she said in a calm voice, it's a good try, but it isn't very original. These designs look like older Forrester collections. Feels like it's copying something else. The reporter's eyes got bigger. So you're not impressed? Brooke said. I thought there would be more. If you're going to launch under the Forrester name, you need to be new and different. Not copying. Within minutes, the word spread like wildfire on social media. Katie saw the headlines scrolling across the screens in the back. Cheap copy is what Brooke Logan says about Katie's line. Her heart sank. Brooke's harsh comments made the audience's applause sound empty. Katie didn't have much time to think about what had happened before Brooke confronted her again. This time in front of Ridge, Steffi, and Eric. I told you, Brooke said in a calm voice. This line wasn't ready. Katie looked at her and tears started to flow. You made me feel bad. On purpose. Ridge moved forward. Brooke, that wasn't necessary. Brooke said. No. What's not necessary is letting feelings get in the way of good judgment. Forrester's name is at stake. Eric let out a deep sigh. Katie put in a lot of effort. She needed help. Brooke snapped. Support shouldn't mean lying. Katie looked at Eric. I'm sorry, she said softly. I didn't want to make the company look bad. You didn't, Eric told her. You made something beautiful. Brooke rolled her eyes. Beauty without originality is pointless. That was the last straw. Katie squared her shoulders. Do you know what? I'm done trying to get you to respect me. You don't want me here? Okay. I'm going to take my line somewhere else. Brooke's body went stiff. You'd leave Forrester? Katie said. Yes, firmly. I'd rather fail on my own terms than succeed because of you. There was a shocked silence. Ridge looked at Brooke with a look of disappointment on his face. Steffi crossed her arms, unsure of what to do. Brooke, Ridge said softly, you went too far. But Brooke didn't say anything and clenched her jaw as Katie left. What happens when you're mean? Katie got offers from other fashion houses within days. One in particular stood out, a bold new startup that wanted to give her full creative control. At the same time, people's opinions started to change. Brooke got a lot of hate on social media. #JusticeForKatie was a worldwide trend. Fans praised Katie's bravery and criticized Brooke's cruelty. Fashion critics looked at the collection again and praised how emotional and easy to understand it was. Brooke had to defend herself for the first time. During a tense family meeting, Steffi said bluntly, you went too far. I told the truth, Brooke said. No, Steffi said back. You were jealous. The word hurt. Brooke laughed in a bitter way. Are you jealous of Katie? Please. Why tear her down then? Ridge asked. Why make her look bad in front of everyone? Brooke didn't know what to say. Brooke thought about the scene over and over again in her bedroom that night. Katie's sad face stayed with her. The truth came out slowly and with a lot of resistance. Katie hadn't been copying. She had been changing. And Brooke had lashed out because she was afraid of losing her power, her influence, and her identity. Sisters at war. When Brooke finally found Katie, she was packing boxes in her apartment. Yes, it's true, Brooke said quietly. You're going. Katie didn't look back. You made that choice for me. I came to say sorry. Katie came to a stop. She slowly turned to face her sister. Why now? Brooke said. Because I was wrong. I let my doubts make me cruel. Katie laughed, but it was sad. You've done that my whole life. Brooke took a deep breath. I don't want to lose you. You already did, Katie said softly. But maybe one day we can find our way back. Brooke nodded and her eyes were wet with tears. I hope so. Katie grabbed her bag. Goodbye, Brooke. Brooke stood still as the door closed behind her. She realized that her harsh words had cost her something much more important than her professional pride. They had cost her family.